It's prime time. It's prime time. Talk TV. Talk TV. We're letting you know.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Prime Time, and you already know you're on Prime Time Talk TV. And yeah, I'm back at you with another good video, and you already know the routine. Once you enter my house, wipe your feet off, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and smash the bell icon so you can be notified the next time I drop these next latest and greatest videos like these.
For Prime Time.
To this day.
Oh man, let's go ahead and jump on into this video, shall we? How about the rumors is surfacing that Canelo wants Bivol, but he wants Bivol to move down to 168 to challenge him for his 4 belts. Oh man. I tell you, look, the news around is surfacing now that, Canelo wants a rematch with Bivol, but he would rather fight Bivol at a weight he's more comfortable with. So let's break this thing on down now. Bivol is 175 in the lightweight division. And Canelo holds the undisputed titles at super middleweight, which, a lot of people been asking for Canelo to fight Beterbiev Jr., David Beterbiev Jr., but he's declined. Said he won't fight no Mexicans, even though he's Mexican. Go figure. Well, now, you got David Morrell that just had a spectacular fight, even though it ended in tragedy in my, line of perspective. But those two are in line in 168. Then you got Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant just knocked out my boy Darrell, the dog. And so now his name is back in the hunt for, a title shot or at least a #1 contender shot. So should it be David Morrell after this Caleb Plant Benavidez fight to find a actual #1 contender for Canelo Alvarez? Or should Canelo Alvarez take the little, stab at trying to fight Canelo versus Bivol too? Hey, it's all possible. It's all possible. And I think Canelo saw that Bivol really didn't have anything that flashy to him. He's a little bit slower than a David Benavidez or a David Morrell. So I'm kind of thinking that Canelo is weighing his options on who he feel like he's more comfortable in fighting and who he feels more confident in beating. That's the decision right now that Canelo has to make now. Granted, Bivol has already voiced his opinion. He said he want to go after the belts, and what belts is he talking about? He said he is a 175 pounder. I am a true 175 pounder. I want the belts at 175. I would want to fight Beterbiev. But, both of them being Russian at war right now with Ukraine. It's just like, is the temperature in the world right for this fight? 2 Russians versus each other for undisputed in America. I definitely don't see anybody going over to Russia for this fight. So, it just really puts this whole thing in a topsy-turvy world where everything is flipped upside down. They want Bivol to come down, from 175 to 168 to fight for 4 belts when he's been the 175 champion forever, for almost over 5 years, I think. And, it's hard to make this fight, because I don't think nobody ever anticipated Beterbiev even winning the titles like he did, but he did. He did. And I think, honestly, a lot of people thought that Canelo would beat Bivol, and then it would be Beterbiev versus Canelo. I truly do think Canelo could take Beterbiev because Beterbiev, he's more of an inside fighter. And, you know, Canelo is an awesome counter puncher. He has a good uppercut and an up jab. So those things right there nullify a lot of fighters that like to fight him close. That's what happened to Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant was trying to fight too close to the fire and he got burnt. So, you know, that's what I'm kind of thinking if I'm analyzing, you know, like Canelo is analyzing who's faster, who's slower. I would rather fight the slower fighter, you know, because, hey, granted, he is moving up in weight. He's fluctuating up and down, fighting different weight classes. Hey, I give him all the respect in the world. But you have to be real. When you move up and you lose, you move down in rankings. That's just the natural order of things. And I know right now I got the world upside down. People pissed off, you know, with me because of my little take on Fighter of the Year. Why? You know, everybody say, oh, Bivol should be Fighter of the Year. And I'm like, okay, he beat a Canelo that moved up in a weight class that wasn't even in his true weight class, okay? Then you beat a Gilberto Ramirez that actually showed his record was exactly what it was. It was 44-0 of 44 no-nos. And nobody knows those fighters he fought. You know? And see, that's the problem when trying to stack people records, people, boxers, promoters. I get it. But stack the record as true as possible. Give them some real good fights in between there. Give them some former champions in there. You know why? You know why? Not so that they can lose and be tested, but so that they can win and be tested. Because if they can't beat a former champion, how they gonna beat a new champion? Huh? De La Hoya. Look, man, I love you. For real. Love De La Hoya. He was one of my favorite boxers growing up. You know, I'm not like a lot of other fans. I have, you know, Latino boxers that I'm a fan of, like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. I was a fan of him growing up. I was a fan of Marvin Hagler. I was a fan of, you know, Jack Dempsey. So many boxers and fighters I was a fan of. Still are. Still to this day. To this day. Like Deontay Wilder say. You know, so that don't change. What does change is who am I still rolling with? Who is the new era boxers that I'm rolling with? And let's go ahead and name them. How about that? You know, because I know y'all want to know. All right. So, number one, I got to go with my boy, Devin the Dream Haney. You know why? I got to go with him is because at 23 years old, he became undisputed lightweight champion of the world. Undisputed lightweight champion of the world. When you got all these other lightweights in the division, think about how stacked the lightweight division was. Huh? You had Jamel Herring that had the belt. Shakur took that from him from the junior lightweight division. But then in the lightweight division, you got Tank Davis. You got Ryan Garcia. You know? You got Lomachenko. You got Kambosos. You had Teofimo, but he bounced. You know, he bounced on the whole thing. Then you got Isaac Cruz. I mean, the lightweight division is super stacked. I ain't even naming all the risks. You probably still got Roller Romero. I don't know what he doing. You know, he talking about 147 fighting Earl Spence and this, that, and the third. So I don't know what that guy be talking about sometimes. I'm thinking maybe he's just trying to enjoy his little money right now and, you know, maybe ease back in later on at some point. Who knows what your boy Roller Romero up to, but I tell you what, he's a sound bite factory. Even though most of the stuff you can't play on the radio or on TV or nothing like that, but I tell you what, he is a sound bite factory. Enough said. Then you have Shakur Stevenson. You got Tank Davis. You know, all these guys I'm a fan of. But Devin Haney took the initiative and the guts to go after all the belts. And he went to Australia to do it. Not only that, but he took less pay than he ever took thus far for a fight. To go all the way to Australia. Then in the first fight, the government tried to stop his dad from coming in to being in his corner when his dad is his coach and his trainer all his life. And he beat those odds. And you mean to tell me you're going to put anybody over there? Who else at 23 years old became lightweight undisputed champion in Australia from America? I'll wait. I'll wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Exactly. I can wait 100 summers and you still ain't gonna find nobody. But I get it. You gonna hate on him because, you know, he a Muslim. You gonna hate on him because he with his dad. You gonna hate on him because he ain't knocked the fighter out. You gonna hate on him. But you gotta realize, everybody he's fought more world champions than any other lightweight in the division. Devin Haney records look better than anybody else in that lightweight division. Except for Shakur Stevenson, I would say. You know, the reason being is because you got to think about it. Tank Davis fought a lot of guys that wasn't in his weight class. They were either moving up or moving down. You feel me? You know, so you can't count those guys as true lightweights, first of all. Then Roland Ramirez, he won't even in the realm of universe of where Tank Davis skills is. So that is obsolete. That fight was just a gimme fight because Roland Ramirez talked himself into that fight. He sold that fight. And he even said that at the press conference. I sold this fight. Only reason why this fight is here is because of me. Not because Tank wanted it. But Tank says, I'll fight anybody they put in front of me. Yeah, right. So that means you just a money fighter. You know, because prize fighter was the money, the belts, all of it, all the rewards. And see, in this 2022 era, you got these new promoters and new boxers with this new lingo, and they basically have made the belts obsolete. So who even cares about the belts anymore? That's basically what they're saying. Don't nobody care about the belts, dude. Nobody, man. I don't freaking want those belts. Well, why you got a belt? Why you got a WBA belt, a regular belt? And then Devin Haney has a WBA belt, which I'm considering should be the regular belt. But I'm guessing, you know, sanctioned bodies, they like to make up names. So they probably calling this the super lightweight belt. And Gervonta got the regular WBA belt. God, Lord. Man, it's like they just making up categories for belts and giving them to folks because, you know, they like him. I like this guy. He should deserve a belt. Let's make him a belt, man. You know, let's put something on it, man. I don't know what you want to call it. Well, you know, you got Big Mac and then you got a regular cheeseburger. So, okay, Devin Haney has the big lightweight WBA belt and Gervonta has the regular WBA belt. And that's basically what it is, folks. You know? But it's almost like a pass at saying, you know, we're going to give you this so you ain't got to worry about going over there. We want to keep you doing your thing over here. But hey, look, all sanctioned bodies do that. All over the world, every weight class, you know, it's 2 or 3 guys in the same weight class with belts, one regular, one super, you know, then they got another name for something else, so inaugurable or what do you call it, interim. You know, think about how many interim WBC belts they gave out in history. I done heard so many interim WBC world champions. I done seen Dillian White with a WBC silver belt over there in the UK, which, you know, they got their own sanctioned bodies over there in British. So yada, yada, yada. Hey, not a knock. It is just the truth. So what I'm saying is that with all these belts around the world, how can the belts not matter? The belts has been a prize throughout history since they were making the belts in the early 1900s. So how can the belt be obsolete when so many other boxers have dedicated their lives and died in that ring? And you got these young guys saying that the belt don't mean nothing. My Instagram followers is more than that belt. When did social media become worth more than the belts that boxers have laid down their lives for in generations? You got fathers and sons. You got fathers bringing their sons. Look at Mayweather Sr. Floyd Mayweather Sr. brought his son. And then you saw him and his brother, Roger Mayweather. Then you got Gary Russell, his sons, Gary and Twan Russell. Come on now. You got Tosca Zoo with his son now, getting ready to fight for a belt pretty soon. First of the year, 2023, against Charlo. So, how can you discredit the belts, guys? Y'all got to stop that mess just to make yourself feel better because somebody got you. Oh, well, Devin Haney got all the belts. Man, the belts don't mean nothing. That's some little kid stuff. Sound like little kids on the playground. When, Devin Haney, dad bring him a whole bunch of food and stuff for the classroom, for show and tell. Tank Davis sitting in the corner. Man, I don't want none of his food, man. I got my own food, man. I don't want none of his food, man. He think he all that because his dad brought all the food to the class. That's what this reminds me of. Little pity party for kids. Your kid feeling hurt, so you got to say this. You got to say that. Stop all that stuff, fellas. Get in the ring, iron it out. Until then, don't say nothing to each other unless you hyping up the fight. And that's the problem with boxing now. So many fights happen on Twitter and social media, Instagram, Facebook, all these different social media platforms. It's all cool and dandy if you're promoting the fight. And it's crazy that the only fighter to congratulate Devin Haney from out of the lightweight division, to actually congratulate him, well, I say it's two. It's two. First one, Shakur Stevenson. He was like, shoot, you know what I'm saying? I want to fight Devin Haney. Anybody say anything otherwise, he the man in the division, they just hating. He said that. But the only boxer in the lightweight division to truly congratulate him respectfully, and he won't messy, your boy George Kambosos, man. Your boy George, the ferocious Kambosos. He congratulated Devin Haney like a true champion. He took his L on the chin. Now the other fighters, Devin ain't beat them, and they can't take it on the chin. They can't congratulate him. You know why? Because they hate him. They hate him. A real boxer would say something to the effect of, congratulate the Devin Haney, you know what I'm saying? Another boxer in our division. Congratulations. He did good. He went over there to Australia, brought the belts back. But unfortunately, I'm going to be ready to take them belts off. If you want to diss. But the same thing is going over in the women's side as well. You got plenty of women boxers hating on Clarissa Shields, not acknowledging her. The Serrano sisters, all the other ladies, Alicia Baumgardner, all the other ladies that got belts congratulate her, So, hey, but then you have a lot of them that, still dissing, still sneak dissing. You got Savannah Marshall, she's saying this and saying that, saying different stuff in the media, yada, 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 like it could have been a majority decision and yada, yada. Well, it won't. It won't. And looking at the fight, it won't either. But you're trying to save face. But congratulations to Clarissa, the Gwoat Shields, for real. She went over there, she conquered her only demon left. And that was somebody that beat her in the amateurs that were holding that over her head. Get that. An amateur lost. They were holding that record over her head because she didn't have no more losses. You know, she was undefeated. She still is 13-0. 13 wins, 2 knockouts. The fastest undisputed champion in history. 3 times undisputed in only 13 fights. Because see, a lot of people that had belts wanted her name to claim, 2-time gold Olympic medalist. They felt like, we'll go ahead and snatch her up now and go ahead and beat her, take that record, and that'll build our name and our profile up. But little did they know the experience she had was enough to beat them, and she beat them all 13 times. And she went back and beat Savannah Marshall, who beat her in the amateurs, really, that was, given to her. I looked at that fight, and honestly, Savannah didn't win that fight. And to her testament, the truth came out when she fought Clarissa Shields all these years later. When Clarissa was a teenager. So, that's all I got for you in this video. You already know the routine. When you leave my house, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the bell icon so you can be notified the next time I drop these latest and greatest videos here on Primetime Talk TV. And I'm on social media everywhere. Definitely go to the website, primetimetalktv.com, and copy some merch. All right, y'all. Peace, love. I'm out.